Hello everyone, I hope you have your tea today. We're going to be talking about some Power Ranger news that Josh over at Toko Topics mentioned in a few tweets as well as one of his videos a while ago, and I kind of really wanted to touch base, talk about it a little bit more because I feel like this is kind of important. And what could this possibly mean? We'll find out. So let's jump straight into the video. Grab your drinks, grab your tea, because it's a long one. So as you've seen in the title, no Power Rangers production in 2024. What does this actually mean? Now, before I carry on with this, no, it doesn't mean that Power Rangers is ending. There's still going to be Power Ranger stuff. Probably the Lightning Collection, as Josh has mentioned, is still going to be carrying on. So we still have that. But at the moment, there is no production side, and hopefully we will hear something soon, or at least Hasbro will say, yeah, see you in 2025. Josh mentioned that in 2024 that there is no production at the moment. He said it in his videos and tweets, and this is just his speculation, and this is his kind of thoughts on it. So again, it's not something official. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying, hey, and I'm kind of expanding on it because I find this very, very interesting. Josh said this: since it looks like we aren't getting any new Power Ranger production in 2024, I personally think Hasbro should just pick up with MMPR re-envisioning and give it their own spin where that left off. Make it a YouTube exclusive, that way can mess up the upload audio tracks. Then the fans can debate wherever to count that as season 31, or for a bit until Hasbro gives up on the reboot and decided to adapt Dawn Brothers, a season thought to be skipped because it's too Japanese. But surprise, it's actually Dino Fury season 4. They break the glass that says, in case of reboot development hell. Inside is the phone number of the 6 Rangers and Simon. Anyway, as I type this nonsense joke, I forget Hasbro's 2023 quarter 1 earnings call was yesterday. Did anyone look at that? I haven't actually seen that one. I've seen the first one. I just did, and there was nothing mentioned at all for the brand from what I can tell, but I don't understand this financial stuff, so I don't know. Now, carrying on from this, Edward asks, what's the source on no new show in 24? News to me. Josh responds with, at the very least there would be casting slides by this point in the year, which we don't have. So there's no chance of a show for at least most of, not all, 2024. Edward responds, so there isn't one? It's just an assumption. Josh responds, assumption based on past trends. Plus, we don't know there is a focus on developing the new reboot. Edward responds with, reasonable of course, but Netflix Hasbro is a different ballgame. I'm just saying that speaking in absolute without absolute source does bite people in the ass. Josh responds with, true, we have some people who claim to have inside information talking about all the focus on the reboot stuff, but the truth is Hasbro and Netflix won't be transparent with it. They likely won't say no show in 2024, so breakage of info traditions is really the most reliable info we've got. Edward responds, yeah, I expect we won't hear much until they're ready to announce a thing, which honestly I'm okay with. I like surprises. And it's very interesting to kind of think about this, because normally by this time we would have had a little bit more information. Something would have gotten out very similar to the, hey, here's the audition tapes and stuff like that, or we had that thing ages ago with Dino Fury that came out saying, hey, this is the casting slides. The fandom will get their information and then they will post out there for people to do. But when you kind of think about it, I know we've just had Once and Always, and that will be a thing. And Simon, he's very much concentrating Cosmic Fury, and things have completely changed. This is going completely off script, by the way. So things have completely changed from what we have in the back in the day. But you kind of think at least something would be kind of like talked about. And I don't know if this is Hasbro's way of saying, right, if we hold up, boys, hold up there. We won't do anything until Cosmic Fury is out. But Cosmic Fury is out roughly around about September time, fall time, something like that. And we know at the moment I think they're working on episode 3, episode 4 in post-production and stuff, and that's going to take some time. And again, maybe people don't want to say anything until it's nearer the time. But normally rumors would surface, stuff would kind of come out, people would instantly start talking about it. And regardless of the insiders and stuff like that, something would have come out at least now to kind of get the ball rolling. I mean, what happened last time when it was near the end of one of the other seasons, Beast Morphers, where the Hasbro went on stage and went, hey, guess what? This is the next one we're adapting. rear soldier, and then that was it. And that was done roughly around about February time a couple of years ago. So you think at least now we would have got something like the next adaptation. If we're getting Cosmic Fury Season 2, effectively, it could be anything like that. Now, what happens if they adapted Dawn Brothers? Again, it could be completely different. You know, you have the ability to change. Maybe you don't use the Dawn Brother suits. Maybe you use the Cosmic Fury suits and then use the weapon. You know, obviously we're going to be getting the Kaitamas or Q-Tamas. So why not after that do gears and actually have them transform into other abilities? That would be kind of cool. I could see that happening. And again, you could easily make the Dawn Blaster into a Nerf gun because you did it with that blaster in Beast Morphers. I think that would be really cool for what we see, and I would be totally on board for that. Even though the Dawn Brothers never really used the avatar change, they easily could do in Cosmic Fury Season 2 or whatever the next season's going to be. Either way, I think it's kind of like very, very interesting. Now, let's look at some of the other things. So maybe they are mainly concentrating on one element, on one aspect, and that is Cosmic Fury. Soon as one is done, they move on to the next. Again, we had Once a Ranger, so that could have been a thing where they're taking most of the time before they could even look into it. So we could get something very, very soon, or we may not get anything until 2025, or at least the end of 2024. Regardless, like the casting slides and the news information comes out and we get a brand new series in 2025. It could be the fact that the Jonathan Entwistle program is still going forward, and that's what they're going to do. At the very end of Cosmic Fury, they announced that they're going into space again, or the reboot's happening, whichever way. And again, maybe that could be a thing where they're saying, this is the very end of Power Rangers and we're now moving in. The Power Rangers will be back in 2025. I don't know. It's a very interesting thing because, again, we would normally see this, and for it to kind of not happen over the course of almost 30 years, you kind of think that they would try and change it. And we know what Hasbro are like at times. They think all the property of Power Rangers is like a Marvel production. No one's meant to know until the very end because it's like, oh my god, surprise! And yeah, it's not. So I don't know to kind of believe on this one. Now, you could have everyone in the writing team at the moment moving on. Cosmic Fury has been done and dusted. So where does that leave it? You could have everyone back in the writing room right now, figuring out what the main storylines are going to be, if they're going to adapt, if they're going to keep going with Cosmic Fury. Who knows? There's tons of stuff that we could easily look at and kind of pick apart each one to kind of understand how we see this. We know right now that the writing, I think, has been done for the Jonathan Entwistle. It's been submitted. They can't do anything because at the time of writing this video, the writer's strike hasn't been on. So again, we're at a point where nothing can be done that way. So if the writer's strike goes on for a year, it can go on for longer, it could be shorter, who knows? I think this part right now is weird because nothing would be able to come out because of Jonathan Entwistle. So production and all that could happen much later on, and we get one more season of Power Rangers. I know that Simon won't say anything, or he can't say anything. We know this because when someone asked him what had been happening after Dino Fury, he said he didn't know. No one at Hasbro knew what was going on, and that was before they greenlit Cosmic Fury. So I would imagine that this would be the same thing. Either he's not allowed to say, he doesn't know, or the fact that Hasbro haven't kind of figured out what they're going to do. It's a really weird thing, but you kind of think you'd want to keep the hype going of Cosmic Fury and then the next season, because then people want to watch Cosmic Fury, then they go over and look and can't wait for the next season. It kind of goes hand in hand in my eyes. It also means that in 2024 there could be something completely different, and you know, it's a year to kind of reflect, kind of work on things, kind of figure things out, which I am going to be talking about in another video. But when you kind of think about it, could 2024 be the year that they turn around and go, oh yeah, let's just take a break and we'll work on this and try and figure this one out? Now, one of the main questions we get is this going to damage the brand? Is this going to be to the point where, you know, you take a year off and everybody goes crazy, or will people kind of forget because maybe Cosmic Fury doesn't do well in their eyes and they're like, yeah, we need a break, we need to move on from this? Could that be a thing right there? We don't know. I think one of my other main concerns, and a load of people have said this, is if it goes off the air in any sort of way, you know, Netflix, we obviously know it's not going back to Nickelodeon, but do people forget? Do people move on? Will it actually be brought back to where people go, oh my god, yeah, oh my god, that's amazing? Because sometimes people just go, oh, well, it's gone, and they don't care about it until, like, say, 5-10 years later when it resurfaces and people go, oh my god, that's amazing, I missed this, and then it gets the kind of nostalgia back for people and people want it. So at the moment, Cosmic Fury hasn't got any hype mainly roughly behind it just yet. There's not much that's been said, and I don't know if they can say anything, but you think that, you know, coming up to the point where this is all going to be dropping in probably a couple of months, maybe a little bit more, but you generally would kind of start wanting to build the hype, and it's very similar to how Once and Always was. We had a few tidbits, got us really interesting, we wanted to know more, but what happened after that? Nothing. Like we want a build up, not just suddenly a couple of weeks before or a week before Cosmic Fury drops, then we get a trailer. Slowly build the hype up. You know, show us still from one of the other, you know, from one of the episodes that have been finished. That would get people hyped up. We would be talking about it. Start bringing out a trailer, even if it was the very similar one that you did ages ago, where it was just the Japanese footage, you know, condensed in a little bit. You know, just show something that gets the fans really wanting the appetite. At the moment, the Ranger fandom is wanting news. They want news. They want to consume it. But it always feels like Hasbro holds back. I'm not here to spread doom and gloom. I'm really not. I'm just worried that if we've not had anything or kind of start the ball rolling for the next season going on or something like that, I want this brand to flourish and be more. Hell, I've been talking about it for such a long time. But I'm kind of worried that we're not getting anything back. We're not kind of having a little bit of information. I just feel now would be the best time, because obviously if there's nothing planned for 2024, Cosmic Fury, you might as well watch at least 1 minute per day or 1 minute per month, because you're not going to be getting anything bar the Lightning Collection. And I think that's really, really sucky. And again, I know that this is all rumors, speculation, this is something to be talked about, but I find this really interesting because we all can do reviews, we can all do comic books, we can all do toy reviews, but the business side of Power Rangers very rarely gets talked about, and when it does, it gets completely passed over, and I really don't like it. So I wanted to talk about it because I find this really interesting in my eyes. And hell, maybe it's interesting to you as well. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know down below in the comments. Do you think we will get something very soon? Do you think that Power Rangers will run in 2024? Let me know down below in the comments. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching and listening. And if you want to help support the channel, hit that like button, leave a comment, hit subscribe, turn on all notifications, and why not check out to be a channel member. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. I want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters, and I wanted to shout out Kimono Cat. Your help does go a long way to support the channel, and if you want to consider helping the channel, then links to my Patreon as well as the channel members are listed below. あらあら、チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。